What's up, man?
What I did?
What's happening?
Just so you know, I'm not a Raider fan. I just had I had a beanie on, and the beanie didn't look good, so we went with the hat.
So you got a hat?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay. Well, give it a little introduction for the people. Tell them who you are, what your name is, stuff like that.
All right, people. Am I looking over here? One of the two.
Camera one, camera two.
Camera two. All right, here we go. I'm Alex Padron. I am a FMG pro. I'm originally from Cuba. Lived in Vegas for the last 20-some years. And here we are.
Here we are.
Here we are.
That was good. That was a really professional way of doing it.
Yeah, just quick to the point.
Good. So wait, so you say you're an FMG pro?
Yeah.
So what got you into, tell me about you, like kind of story, like you can start by growing up when you were younger. Like I know everybody's kind of got a story that they like to tell.
Yeah.
So just give us a rundown on what yours is.
So, you know, obviously we're both tatted, so when people look at us, they're like, damn, that's a badass dude, like he's a tatted dude. But,
Obviously.
But we're very emotional here, you know? But no, I mean,
Facts.
young, I was obviously born in Cuba, raised, and then came straight to Vegas. So we've avoided Miami. We just went straight to Vegas. I don't know. I don't know what the hell happened there, but can I cuss on this podcast? Oh, it's your podcast.
You do whatever the fuck you want.
There,
Say whatever you want.
There you go.
I don't give a shit what it is. There's no rules. There's
no filter in this thing.
Nothing. There doesn't need to be a filter.
Came straight to Vegas. In Vegas, obviously grew up, went to school here, elementary, middle, high school, college. And yeah, you know, immigrant parents, both were working like 2-3 jobs each. My dad worked the most out of all of them. My mom. And
all of them, I'm a jihad.
Yeah, like 30 of them. At this point, I have like 30.
I'm like, you're Cuban, so there could be like.
You never know. In one household, you could have like 12.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, middle school, I mean, like any other kid that got picked on, you know, I had glasses, I had braces, I had acne, the skinny kid, so. And then my lips were like 10 times bigger than my face, so just like, it was one of those things where like, oh, this guy. Walking around with like
big ass lips,
you know, DSLs and everything. I was like, damn, dude, like you got me fucked up.
Man, come on, hurt my feelings.
So started working out and got into fitness at a really young age. I was like 12 years old. I had like,
shit.
My dad had a bench in the house, inside the house. It wasn't even in the garage. It was like in the room, not to touch anything, but but you can touch the weight. Made no sense. Made no sense.
I know what you're talking about though.
You know, you had that one room. It was like the very nice couch, and you only go into that room like during the holidays.
Yep.
The bench was right next to that table. And then there was a bench and a treadmill. That's all we had there. And it was like, okay, cool. So 12 years old, it was like, I think the max he had was 25, but he had a bunch of 10. So like you can stack it. It looked, you know, whatever, fit that area. So I started lifting when I was like 12 in that area. Was always involved in sports. So I played baseball for like 15-something years. Wrestled, football, rugby, soccer. Once I was in high school, I focused more on baseball, football, and wrestling. So that's what kept me fit. I didn't start competing until I was like 16, so I did Jay Cutler's first show.
Oh, dope.
So every time he sees me, he always brings up, like, oh, man, I remember when you did our first show, like my first show. I'm like, yeah. And he wants me to compete back and do another show with him, but
maybe you should.
Maybe I don't know. We'll see.
Don't be a pussy or a bitch about it.
Well, I don't know. That's a little complicated to do this show, but we'll see what happens.
Okay.
And then I competed to about 2015 was my last show, so I did like 5-6 shows from 2010 to 2015. I won, I think, one show. I think the Las Vegas Classic in 2014 or something like that. After that, so I started working. Actually, I started working when I was like 13. I would work for my dad for one of his businesses, and from there, like I started working at like the hotels at like 16 years old. So from 16, I was really involved in the Vegas industry, and that's when everything kind of starts, right? You get exposed to everything that Vegas is. So like nightlife, alcohol, drugs, you name it, exposed to it.
But you're like exposed to the back end of it, not like just like going to the club, seeing it.
Correct.
You're like on the other end, which is actually probably more dangerous.
Yeah, so I'm like 16, 17. I'm working at Mandalay Bay. I'm a lifeguard, right? Which is a great gig. Like when at that age, you're getting paid like $18, $19 an hour.
At that time?
And, yeah, you work at a pool all summer long, and then that's it. Like you get
there's
paid.
Girls all over the place.
And there's girls all over the place. So I'm like, cool, man, I'm 16. I look like I work out a little bit. I got abs. Like I get hit on, cool. And then, but it's crazy because, like, sure, like, that's the fun part of it, but then you got the dark side that nobody talks about. It's like, oh, people coming up to you and, like, talking to you about, like, hey, like, where can I get this? Where can I get that? Or, so then later on, you're like, man, if I get this, I can get tipped. Let me find it. So then now I can sell this guy, like, this for $100 and then I keep 50, you give the other guy 50, you know, like, so now this is how your mind starts thinking, right? So then, you know, there's that time of year where like we have like the adult industry come into town. So then you got swingers coming in. So I'm like 17 and these swingers are talking to you. Like, what do you want to do? Like, it's like I don't know. Like I didn't know. And like, I'm
what
like,
is all this shit?
what's all this stuff? And at a young age, you're like, fuck it. Let's find out. Yeah. And you find out and you're like, oh, I don't want to do this no more.
You're like, well, I was wrong.
What's it called? So, sorry, work over here calling.
Don't give a
shit. What else? So then that's the end of it. Got really involved. Went to construction for a little bit. So I've done every job in the industry possible, like whatever it is. Done it over and over. I mean, whether it's like stripping, whether it's bartending, whether it's like construction.
Where'd you strip at?
Hustlers. Crazy thing. They probably don't even know. It's okay. I don't care. I'll say it. So I had a fake ID from Mexico. Like,
oh shit.
A legit Mexican passport ID. Like, it had my picture on it and it had my name but with an alternate last name.
Yep.
Or like the same last name, but like I probably put like a hyphen on it or something. All my details, it's at my age. It was like I think I was like 22. So I was like 17, but 22. Yeah. My ID. And I go and apply. I'm like, hey, I want to work here. I show my ID. Like, cool. I'm speaking Spanish. Like, I'm not gonna speak English. I'm just gonna speak full-on Spanish. That's how you get in. So I'm speaking Spanish, and then they're like, yeah, go ahead, audition. And I worked at Hustlers for a month. I made like $15K, I think. And at the end of the month, they're like, hey, we need you to go get your sheriff's card. So in order to get your sheriff's card, you got to be 21.
Yep.
And go to the police station. And I was just like, yeah, that's the end of my career there. And I think I've been to Hustlers once since then. It was like 2 years ago or something for whatever reason. And never done that. So that was it.
Wait, so why did you need your sheriff's card at Hustlers?
Well, and when you work in the industry in Vegas, like whether you're bartending, whatever, you need a sheriff's card.
Oh, got it.
So the sheriff's card allows you to work in the industry for like if you're like 1099 or whatever it is.
Oh, okay. See, I've always worked industry like in LA. Like I've never worked industry here. So like I know it's got a completely different set of rules and the game is
it's like a whole thing. I don't know. Maybe I said that wrong, so don't quote me, people that work in the industry, but
no, but we get the idea. Like you need fucking documentation and some other shit. And it's like,
yeah. So involved nightlife till 2020, like I'm so indulged into it now that like that's my life. Like I go out, I party, I drink, I was in quarantine. Everything was shut down. So what the heck are we gonna do, right? So during quarantine, we obviously got our what's it called? That one pay that we were getting, that check.
Oh, I'm not even talking about the fucking
whatever. It was like $1,200, right?
A stimulus check.
Stimulus check. Yeah. So I was getting my stimulus check. We get a stimulus. It was one check, right? It
was one check. It was like $1,200.
Yeah. So we got a stimulus check, and then I was getting paid from where I was working, which was Win, weekly or whatever, or bi-weekly. And I made so much money in quarantine, and all that went, and I was doing nothing. We were getting paid to do nothing. Obviously, nothing was open.
Yeah.
And I spent it on alcohol all from March till I quit drinking in August. So from March to August, all I did was drink 24/7. And I would wake up every day at 6 a.m., drink till like 1 a.m., go to sleep, do it again the next day. And then that, obviously drinking, drugs, all that stuff. And then in May, we all got a houseboat for like Memorial Day weekend. So we spent the weekend on the houseboat.
Is that where that picture comes from? That the famous one that I know of? Like, it's like
you're gonna grab this picture and just be like, look at this fat ass dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is where that picture comes from.
Like, I like know the fucking picture really well. He posted it's a good before picture.
Yeah, I mean that's like, you know, and it's funny. I look back at that picture a lot, like what I was doing that day, what my mentality was, like how everything processed during that time. So then that was May, June, July. Keep in mind, I'm already going through like a whole deal with my toxic relationship that I had at the time. Great girl, but our relationship was just very toxic.
Yeah, the relationship could be toxic. It doesn't mean y'all are, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So so obviously we were dealing with that. And then July 4th was like the beginning of the straw, where the straw just started just like cutting in half.
Yeah.
Or the match was burning off. There you go. That'll be a better like example.
Whatever stick analogy you guys want to fucking put in there where it's not going
match
good.
was burning, and then it was the last bit of the burn.
Yeah.
So July 4th, me and her were in the best of terms. And I went to a party. I went to this 4th of July party that I was invited to. Later on, somebody within that party saw that I was there that knows her, invites her. And when she showed up, I was already lit. So now I'm already lit with somebody that I went there with. And I'm like, fuck this. Grabbed the bottle of Patron, and I was just like, phew. Blacked out. Whoops, hit the mic. I blacked out and don't remember anything. All I remember is like glimpse of things happening.
Yeah.
And then there's a glimpse of both of the girls talking to my ex and then the girl I was with talking. And I'm like, oh, fuck. I was like, drink more. And then later on, I go over there. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? And the next thing I remember is waking up in my bed the next day.
You alone?
Yeah, by myself. So that means I drove home. And I had about 50 calls, over 200 messages on my phone. And it was so intense that I fought everybody. I fought my buddy that was trying to stop me from driving. So back then I drove like my Hellcat or whatever.
Yeah.
Not a Hellcat, fucking Scat Pack or whatever.
Yeah.
Back home. And I was about like 30 minutes from the house. So the fact that I drove, blacked out, made it home safe, no scratches in the car, and is insane. But
yeah.
That was like, man, okay, I gotta chill out, no more drinking. So then I had a couple, like I would go like cold turkey for like a week, and I was like, fuck, I gotta drink again. So then I would drink again, and I would get sick. So then that started happening for like about 2 weeks straight, where like I wouldn't drink or I would drink, and if I did drink around midnight 1, which is usually when I went to sleep, I would get sick, like
withdrawals and shit.
Yeah, like I would have to hop in the shower, like cold sweats, everything. And then so I was like, okay, I need to go like 2 solid weeks without drinking, so 14 days, and then going into that 21st day is like you should feel better.
Right.
So I'm on that 22nd day. And I go out to eat, go have some steak, not drinking, whatever. And I was with my ex, because we were on good terms at this point. And she was like, oh, just try this real quick. I was like, oh, I don't want to. She's like, just a sip. I grabbed this straw. Like, you know how when you're a bartender, you sample a drink?
Yeah.
Pretty much that. The moment I did that, instantly my stomach twisted. It was like withdrawals to the T. Like, I was like, I have to leave.
Like the vampire on the blood thing where it's been fucking dead for thousands of years and one drop of blood, the thing's like, fuck.
Yeah, like I couldn't hold the drink in, I couldn't hold the food in. Like I was like, I can't even finish my steak. Like we have to go. And we left, and I was like, okay, I can't drink anymore. Like that was a sign. I was like, okay, like I didn't want to get the next thing that would have happened is me getting my stomach pumped. Like that's what I already knew.
Fuck that.
And you know that feeling. We're like, this is it.
Yep.
And so I didn't drink for probably a couple weeks, like almost 2 months. And then I had a couple of drinks, and I was like, okay, I feel good, but I was liking the feeling of how I was not drinking. So I went cold for 1.5 years, almost 2 years. What let it go that far, because my goal was just not drink from September of 2020 to like the new year. But then at the new year, about February, that's when I started working at Dragons. So at Dragons there at the gym, everybody was on prep. Like everybody was working out and prep. And I'm like, I can do this. I can get back on prep. Like that's not hard. And everybody was like, okay. And I'm like,
yeah.
And in my head, I'm like, damn, like I haven't been in shape or in prep in over 7 years. Like I haven't been healthy.
Oh shit. It's been that long.
Yeah. Like I haven't been healthy or stepped on stage or anything in over 7 years. Like, how can I can do it. Fuck it. You know, like.
Yeah.
So then, you know, that's when I teamed up with Justin, and the prep was 16 weeks. So from April till July 10th was the show. So 16-week prep. We went from the picture that you very know, looking like that, no muscle, nothing, like couldn't even pose, to like shredded, like ready for a show. Like, and I'm like, and we did it. We won that show.
Fuck.
And I was like, man, this is great. Like I felt like fantastic. Like and it's crazy because like you know me, like I'm a very confident person, individual.
Yeah.
But like during quarantine, during those 7 years, I had like my confidence, like when I was in person, like was okay.
Right.
But the moments at home, I was walking around, like if I got out of the shower, I had to instantly get dressed. You would never see me shirtless. You would never see me walking around in shorts. Like I had to be dressed because I just did not feel good with myself. Even laying in bed, like I would just be like covered. And then when it was time to like fall asleep, then I'll, you know, take my clothes off and like knock out because I just can't sleep with clothes on. But like I was hiding, like I couldn't like be myself even in my own house.
Damn.
So even if I couldn't even do that in my own house, imagine how fake I was in public, even though I was like confident, you know? And so then after that, I was like finally myself again. I'm healthy. I'm hitting the gym, something that I've done for years since I was like 12 years old. So then that was the start. 2021 was the start back into like my health phase, stepping on stage. And then 2022, I took a year off, tried to step on stage there, but then I had some health issues at the end of the year. And then 2023, did a show, went pro, did a second show, did the world title, took third in the world. And then this year, did the LA show, did a Mexico show, took second in LA, won the title in Mexico.
Dope. And so is it something that you plan on continuing to do? Like, or is it like I know a lot of people make a career out of it, and I know you still kind of work in nightlife and stuff like that, but you have like more of an entrepreneurial view of the nightlife that you handle now as opposed to what you did before. And so now it's like, is it just kind of like a fun or a test or, you know, what does it look like for you moving forward with this kind of situation, like with life right now? Yeah.
So back what I used to do before, I was indulged in nightclubs, XX and Encore. I was a VIP host, and I was out till 8 in the morning every day. 4, 5, 6 in the morning.
That's normal though for Vegas.
Yeah.
So people don't know, it's fucking normal for Vegas.
It's normal for Vegas, right? So and that's a 24-hour job. Like your day off, you have a day off, but like you don't have a day off because you have to answer your phone to clients and emails and everything like that.
Yep. You have to get the people in. You have to it's like a nonstop, especially just no
especially when there's events every weekend.
And then the fucking sets like Monday, it starts for the weekend, like setting up for it and shit.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You're screwed.
So what I do now is almost the same concept, but it's not. Like I work lounges and restaurants, right? So I'm still in hospitality, but now like obviously Friday, Saturday, I'm there the latest because I'm there till 1, 2 when the venue closes. But during the week, like obviously there's conventions and people that are coming in, and I'm handling those side of things where we can bring those people back to our venue. So now our lounges don't stay open past 2 a.m. Other than this weekend when we have like major events that were happening at the Sphere and stuff like that, then obviously we stay open a little bit later. But other than that, for the most part, 2 a.m. at our lounges on Venetian Palazzo, and then our restaurants are open. One of them is open till 3 p.m. and the other ones are open till like 10, 11. Like it's not late, you know. So,
right.
So it's a little bit easier. I don't want to say easier, but it's a lot more relaxed versus the nightlife where you're fully indulged in that experience.
It's a lot more laid back.
Yeah, like
considering
what it is, right? So like you got lounges versus a club. Like it's similar but like completely different. So now is a good balance. I have the balance of that and then the balance of my fitness life. Like I love the fitness world. That's what has kept me sane for years. And then when I went away from it, that's what caused the issue.
Right.
So why be away from something that kept me normal and kept me focused on not just my own personal goals, but my life goals?
Right. And so, like, it's funny because I know, and there's the reason why I had you on here is because I know, like, you're not a father or a husband yet. You know what I mean? But I feel like you have a lot of good qualities so far. I'm just kidding. You haven't let me down yet.
I'm a good uncle.
No. But like, you know what I mean? Like the things I've talked to you about, like I understand that like I see where you're at and I see where you're going and I see like the trajectory and like a lot of people don't have that even though they're still husbands and fathers.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So like, you know, I want to talk more about that, like how you said the fitness had changed your life and how it does that. Like you open up a lot on social media and everything like that, and you say a lot of things that I think a lot of men and people don't, and people in general don't have the balls to kind of say.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes from my viewpoint, it takes like a couple of seconds for you to get going, but once like the fire's burning, like it burns the village down.
Yeah.
Like in a good way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's cool because that vulnerability, especially as a man, and to be able to push that when you don't have a fucking child, when you don't have a significant other at the moment, he's very single and disease free. Okay.
Is my phone ringing?
Yeah.
Did you
like,
put my number
already? Yeah.
Wow.
It's like, it's it, bro. So I'll wait till you're done.
No. This wasn't them.
Okay. So like, but like, you know, it's like having that kind of mentality and being like that, even it usually comes from a lot of a lot of growth in general.
Yes.
Especially as like a father or a husband, because like those things make you change.
Yes.
So for you, what is that like? I don't know, man. It's like, what makes you fucking do that? What makes you open up? What makes you like have the balls and the confidence to not give a fuck?
I think what it is, the majority of these problems that we face as men tend to happen at a later age.
Right.
So, you know, we have kids. Let's say we start having kids at 25 or in our 30s or later in our 40s, right?
Right.
Even if you do it at early 20s, right? You have this mentality of like, oh, I haven't experienced this yet. Like it's for the most people that don't experience life early.
Yeah.
So when you get into like 20s having kids, let's say early 20s having kids or late 30s having kids, and you haven't experienced life, the moment you get into having that, then your knowledge of like, hey, I've went through all this before I got here doesn't exist. So then you're really lost on the like, man, well, now I gotta go. That's when guys go like, man, now I gotta go to a bar and go to this place or go. I have to do this because I didn't experience it before I had a family. So then now my duty as a husband, my duty as a father doesn't exist. So I'm not like, I don't have kids. I don't. But like, I went through so much shit, you know, with personal trauma as 16 with my family, with my parents, just because they worked so much and then the love that was being given at the time.
Yep.
To then when they got divorced when I was 18, and then who do I turn to? Well, I turned to my gangster cousin, and I turned to the drugs that he was providing. I turned to the people that he was surrounded with, and then I started working when I was working. And then when I was working in that industry, then like as heavily as I was involved, cool. And then alcohol is there, the drugs are there, the oh, you're somebody, but you're not somebody, but the girls think you're somebody, so they can, because they used you to get you into somewhere, right? Oh, Drake is playing. Oh, Alex, hey, what's up?
Yeah,
and then you know you're drunk, you're lit. They're supplying this, supplying that, and then you get deeper into it, and deeper and deeper, deeper. So then you're lost so deep mentally, and then once you're like, obviously, it takes you falling down and on your fucking face, to realize like, fuck, I'm fucking up. Yeah, and then people don't fuck up like that till later in life, like they don't realize, like they're like, fuck. But when you have it early and you realize it and you're like, fuck, like the point where I lost it, like I lost it in 2022, August 14th of 2022. I went through so much shit for years since 16, and then, you know, not having the healthiest relationship, even though we loved each other and we cared for each other, the relationship itself wasn't healthy, and it caused more issue within her and I, and then it caused, you know, me going to the bar, me going to do this, or me lying about, you know, the pen is red, but I said it was blue. Why am I lying about a red pen that's blue? It's not blue. Like, it just didn't make sense.
Bro, I've literally jumped out of, it's like second story, but it was like first story because the first story is a garage. Yeah. I have jumped out of a second story fucking balcony to get away from the woman I was fighting with. Yeah. Like, and then where was I going to go? Straight to fucking alcohol. Yeah. Like, it was like the answer.
That was the answer. So it got to the point, even though, and it's crazy because, as I said, I started my health phase again in 2021. Right. So this is 2022. So I'm still learning to be healthy again and balance the other life, but it's hard to balance, you know, like, especially when the surrounding, the group, the circle, the cycle, whatever is all there that's previously that caused you to go back into that toxic state.
You got to pick one, and that's the problem.
Yeah, and you can't have both worlds. It's like, you want to be healthy and progressing, or do you want to be toxic and back in the same cycle that is holding you from this side, right? Like, or you're going to be better. So, you know, lost myself, and then I feel like we got off track of everything, but it's so cool. No, it's fine. Cool. But then in 2022, like I you know, that day I pulled the trigger. Like, I was like, I'm done. Like, there's so many days that led into it. Like, I went from being me to not being me to you. If you saw me, said hi, I was like, what's up? To then it was like, her and I argued so much to I lost it. Like, I literally pulled out my gun and I was like, fuck this. And then a blackout. And then the next day it's like, fuck, I need help. Yeah. And why am I here? What's going on? Da, da, da. And then obviously I went to therapy. Well, coaching. It was more of a coach than I was a life coach more than a therapist. Yeah. And he, off the first call, he just like started at 16. He dealt with this is why you're like this. This is why the anger's there. This is why you are afraid of love and where you're afraid to do this and this. And I'm like, dude, we only had a 2-hour conversation. How the fuck do you know me? And
because you know the trauma. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So then
you know the trauma. You know the individual.
So then that's where like my mental health learning started happening, where I'm like figuring out what is exactly what's going on, and now that's where I started progressing. And I took the time to realize, accept that it wasn't everybody else's fault. It's my own fault.
Yeah.
My own fault that I let these people, this environment influence me to be someone that I'm not. Because deep down, I'm this person, right?
Right.
So then why am I letting John tell me that I'm better when I'm drunk? Why am I letting Rebecca say that I'm better when I'm on this? Why am I letting, things that I have no control over control me? If I can't control it, why am I going to control it? So then, I turned 30 March 28th, so in a couple months.
Yep.
And not till October when my buddy Kyle reached out and was like, hey, what are you doing for your 30th? Not then until I thought about my 30th. And I caught myself thinking about this the last, couple of weeks. Like, fuck, what am I doing for my 30th? And it's funny that we're on this topic, but the other day I had this deep conversation. And they're like, so what do you see the next 5 years after for your 30th? So 30 to 35. And I literally sat there and I teared up. And I might tear up now. And I literally said, I don't know.
Real quick, my buddy Dylan, who had this is his spot, he asked me, where do you see yourself in 5 years? While we were doing fucking legs at Dragons a few weeks ago. Fucked me up. Same thing. Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's just, you're like,
I was like, I don't know. And I bluntly told her, I was like, I didn't even think I would be fucking alive. Like, I thought I'd be dead before 30. To be able to say, like, hey, my birthday is 70 days away from turning 30, that's amazing. Because I purposely destroyed my early 20s because I didn't want to deal with these things that I was dealing with. And to be able to be here and experience whatever I have experienced, be able to learn and heal and, be to where I am today is damn, even though it was shitty, you're doing good. So continue going.
Yeah, because you went through a lot of shit too, through prep.
Yeah.
Recently, you that social security thing, you lost all your money, somebody stole your car. It was all these things started to just literally was basically going, are you going to fucking continue this life that you got out of? Or it's kind of making you, it's calling you out. The universe was who are you about? What are you going to do, motherfucker?
Yeah. And
what kind of man are you?
I think I was, at that time, I was maybe less than 7 weeks out from a show. And I was and obviously, when you're prepping for a show, everything matters. All the stress around you, whether it's work, life, whatever, it affects your prep.
Yeah. And
I was like, fuck. Luckily, I had people around me, that helped me stay, sane. But, even if they weren't there, if I didn't do the healing I did for myself the last 3.5 years, dude, that shit would have fucked me up. I would have gone in, I don't know. I honestly don't know. If I had the mentality I had then, I don't know. It would have been some fucked up shit. I would have gone, went to something that I was used to at the time. And, all that happened, I'm like, all right, it's happening, but it's it's not going to break you.
That's right.
All right, what can I do? I have no control over somebody, stealing this or doing that. What can I control? I can control my mindset. I can control the fact that I still got to go I got a good job, and then the gym is there. So let's go to work, get what you need to get done at the gym, and let's continue doing the show. And that's exactly what I did. I put my head down, put the work, and then, we didn't succeed in the show. But then the following show, after that, I won. So it's it all paid off. Imagine if I quit on myself, and then it's okay, I would have quit that show, and then I would have quit the next show. Or I would have done the second show.
Yeah, and then you've had a lot of cool opportunities just knowing you, and it's watching you not quit. And I try to tell that to people all the time. I'm listen, sometimes the only thing you have to worry about is not quitting.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about how the fuck it's going to go, where it's going to go, if it's going to be good, if it's going to be bad. You don't have to do shit. The only thing you have to think about is no matter what the fuck happens right now, I'm not going to fucking quit. And I've said that before. It's my whole life has been based on that.
Yeah.
I don't know how I could quit. I feel if I quit, I kill who I am.
Yeah.
So I don't give a fuck how hard it is. If somebody says it can't be done, I'm not quitting.
Yeah.
And you did the same thing, and it was look what happened. you know, and like you literally were like, you literally had no other option. And this is something that somebody said earlier when a couple guys that podcast before, and he was like, you're in a corner. You either fuck it and get your ass beat, or you say fuck it and beat some ass. And like, there's only two options.
You know, the best example to this, and it's funny that like, and this is before I knew his story, but obviously what happened between like all the car stuff, like, you know, my bank accounts, everything.
Yeah.
To me doing the second show and then me winning the first show and then me winning the second show.
Yeah.
This is my buddy Mike. My buddy Mike took second in the Olympia.
Yep.
But if you know his story, the dude walked miles to the gym. And like, he doesn't have a home. Like, he's always traveling. So like, he lives in one spot or so, but he had to like, you know, walk. Like, it's not like he has his home and it's like, hey, this is my house, this is my car, this is my. Yeah. Like, he adjusted to like his prep had to adjust to what his circumstances were at the time, and he succeeded. You know, beating from last year. I think last year took like 6 to this year getting second place at the Olympia.
Arguably first.
Depending on who you ask.
Yeah.
But you know, and I didn't know that, but it's like he didn't quit. You know, like.
Yeah.
Why? Because there's a mission for him. His mission is this, right? So like, my mission was this. So like, anything in life, whatever it is you do as a father, or if you're not a father, like, your mission is something. What is your mission? And it's don't quit on that, because it's like the end goal is what's gonna make you a lot better.
That's true, and I think a lot of people have and a lot of men especially, like, and you know, you talk to a lot of people too,
yeah,
which is something too. Like, I don't think people really understand. Is like, you're not just like sitting here saying shit. Like, you talk to a lot of people daily.
Yeah.
That I think within a week span, some people haven't talked to that many people in years of their life. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just go through so many different types of people. Yeah. And so what makes you think like, do you know what your mission is, like, as a man, like, yet? Or do you feel like you have an idea? Because like, I know for me, and I'm still learning more and more, but I'm really fucking like, I really get it and what it means, down to like the simplest form. And in situational moments, like even like this, like, I know what decisions I need to make, what I need to say, how I need to feel, how I need to act. And I feel like as a man, like, that's a mission. And to understand who you are is like our mission. And like, do you agree with that? Do you feel like you have found yours, or you're still working for it? Like, how does...
I agree. I think I'm still finding mine. I mean, I know the what it might be, which is like this conversation that we're having now, right? Yeah. Like, I think I've had so many life experiences in my own life experiences that I've had, and it's funny because I've had conversations with multiple people there, and I always call out what is about to happen. What I mean by that, I've experienced it, and I can catch it. So if you're going through something, I can almost catch exactly what's about to happen.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying everybody comes to me for advice, but there's people that ask me, it's like, hey, what do you think about this? Or what's going on with this? Or this mental state, or this emotional state.
A lot of people do come to you.
And I always have like an answer, because it's like, damn, like, well, I was in this position, and this is what happened in that position. So if you're in that same position, was 95% chance it's going to happen.
Yep.
And
like, it's going to happen the exact way.
So then that's when, you know, we had a talk, and then I ended up creating my Facebook group.
Yep.
And, you know, I just started talking about my own past, my own experiences, how to navigate through those experiences, how to navigate through those mental breakdowns, those emotional moments that you're just like, man, like, I don't know what to do. So I'm not just talking. Like, I feel like I'm talking to myself. I mean, some people reply. But it's just like my online journal, and then people see that, and then they reply, or they respond, or they have their own experiences that they can relate to that moment. And it's good to see, because it's like, there's so many people that you don't know. I don't know half of them.
Yeah, you don't know.
But they have reached out to me with their own stories and their own things, and I'm just like, man, like, this is crazy. Like, and when I know, like, you know, I've always walked around like as everybody's a CEO. When I mean by that, whether you're the plumber, whether you're the dude that's, you know, cleaning the toilets, I treat you like a CEO, because I just don't know who you are, what you go through, and
right.
Maybe you're just, you know, maybe you're like an undercover boss. I don't know. But
yeah, you're watching me, motherfucker.
Yeah, for sure. So, you know, I treat everybody with the same respect, you know, until like obviously then they treat me differently, and then I'm like, okay, fuck you. Yeah. But you know, and then when you do that, like, those people, whether they get promoted in the future or just in general, like, see you again, they come to you with certain things in their life that are just like, hey man, like I had a friend, put it this way. I had a friend. I didn't know anything that was going on in her life. But I saw her one day. I was like, hey, how's it going? And I smiled. And I gave her a hug. 2 weeks later, she reached out to me and said, hey, I don't know. Like, I talked to one person that knew my story. I don't know if he told you, and he said he didn't tell you anything. And just so you know that when you smile at me and give me that hug, you don't know how much that meant, and I needed that because of what I was going through.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's like anything in life. Like, you don't know, I don't know what you're going through right now. Or, you know, we can be sitting here having a great conversation, but like deep down, you're probably going through something. Or you know, the next person's going through something. And it's like, but we put a front. I put a front for years. I put a front for over 7 years. That I was happy, but like deep down, I was like, fuck, I'm ugly, I'm fat, and I look like shit, and I don't feel good. And I'm like, I'm doing nothing about it. Why am I doing nothing about it?
Right.
Like, you know, so it's like, I go out and I'm just like, now, like, I think my thing is talking to people. And then if I can make, you know, influence a positive thing in them, like, and I'm good. Yeah. And I don't expect anything from anybody. I never do. I talk to people and I do the things that I do because I just love to do and give to people. Like, that's just me. I don't have, I don't want anything in return. That's how I am. And I think me giving the knowledge that I do when they ask for it and then having the energy that I have to give to them, I'd rather do that, you know? So I think that's what my thing is, my calling at the moment is.
That's dope. I mean, like it's funny because I was literally just talking to the last guy that was in here and it was saying that. It was almost like you have this thing that happens to you when you go through it. And then you learn and you pay and you with your money and your life to get the fuck out of it. And then you become something, you become better. And then almost the immediate next step for you to do is to do what you just said, is take what your ability to make other people happy. Yeah. Don't ask anything in return because, and this is another thing that I've been looking at and it's like, it's so stupid because sometimes, you know, you say things and it just goes right to your fucking face. And like, because I've dealt with so much shit just like you have. And like, that's why we get along with the way we do. You know what I mean? And you never get to talk to anybody. And sometimes it's like, you don't get to talk to the dad about this thing or like you want to, or like this parent about this or that person about that. And it's like, you know, for whatever fucking reason. But I think deep down, when it comes to like people and especially men, our job is to literally fucking make people happy and better people. And like your ability to be solid as a human being and know yourself enough to when somebody comes along, you make them fucking happy.
Yeah.
Like that's all I want to do. And being a father and a husband, like allows you to be that tenfold every fucking day. And you get chances every fucking day to do that shit. Every moment, every dada, or, you know, or your wife calls you fucking name. And it's like, I knew I wanted a family, but I didn't think I deserved it.
You know what's crazy? Because this is towards what you said. This goes towards the video I posted and you commented on. Mm-hmm. Is that people go into relationships or marriages and have kids because they just want to eat, right? You have the spoon, you want to feed yourself. It's like, I want family. This. Yeah. I want a family. I want a relationship. I want kids. But they don't realize that when you go into a relationship, when you go into a marriage, when you go into having kids, it's not about you. Like you don't feed yourself. You have a spoon, and the spoon that you have is to feed the relationship. It's to feed the wife. It's to feed the kid. It's supposed to be selfless. It's not about you. It's about them. So give to them versus trying to give to yourself because this is what you're wanting. It's about providing, right? You're hungry, let me feed you. You need this, let me give it to you. And then it's reciprocated in the same way. Obviously, females have their duty, men have their duty on what a relationship is, and you know, you guys talk amongst yourself to what that is.
Right.
But as you're doing this for her or him or whatever, then they are doing this for you too. Like, is return is not this way all the time. It should always be this way.
But it's like what you said was perfect too. You said, you were just talking generally and you said provide. And it's like, I think a lot of people take these words and they just like, men are supposed to provide. Men are supposed to protect. What, motherfucker? Provide what? You think it's just money? No. Like what you just said, like you are supposed to provide you. And this is something I said too in the past where it's like, and this is the coolest and hardest thing to accept as a man.
Yeah.
You ain't shit, but it's not bad. You are a sacrificial fucking lamb. That's not bad. Because you're meant to be strong to be that thing, to sacrifice for your woman, to sacrifice for your fucking son, to sacrifice for the village back in the day. You know what I'm saying? You were built strong enough to be able to handle the fucking bullshit out here so that you could take the spoon and feed the people. Does that make sense?
Exactly.
Like, that's your job. That's providing. Yeah. You're providing the village with a safety and understanding of like that you're going to serve them. So as a man, like, I think people get it fucked up when they keep feeding themselves. And at the end of the day, you're just feeding yourself shit. You're not even feeding yourself anything that's real. And so you feed these people, and it's like, that's your job. So when you're talking about what you're talking about, it's like you're literally doing your job as a man.
Yeah, because it's like, for example, being sick, right? When you get sick, what's the first thing that happens? Your wife, your girl, right? She's like, I got you, babe.
Well, most people say that when men get sick, they're a bunch of babies.
Yeah, we are a bunch of babies. I'm dead. When I'm sick, I am dead. Don't tell me to do anything, okay?
I'm dying.
I am dying in my
Wait,
deathbed.
my fucking funeral planted out. I want a blue casket.
It's like when it's like, what was it? Like your first day, you're like, I'm not sick. The next day, it's like, I'm dying. And then like 2 days later, it's like, oh, I'm good. And then you get a coffee, like, no, I'm dying again. But to this story, the wife, right, or your girlfriend or whatever, takes care of you. She's nourishing, right? That's right. A female should be nourishing, right?
Yeah.
So now you have a wife and kid, right? So let's say your wife and kid, your son, gets sick, right? Is she supposed to do that? Is she supposed to take care of herself and him? No. This is you. You're the man. You provide, but now you gotta provide in a different way. Now you gotta be the one that's nourishing. Now you're going to be the one that's going to sacrifice and make them a priority because now we got to get them healthy.
Yep.
Like him, healthy. Why? Because now once they're on that again, then you can go back to what you need to do and she'll be able to do what she needs to do to actually be functional as a family.
Yep.
To get done what needs to get done.
And and it's like, and it's so funny because even recently, there's this thing that I've really, really seen even more is really the way to be selfless as a man. And it's like, moreover, what we're talking about, and it's kind of like, I literally, and this is a really bad way to say it, but I don't mean anything. It's not that I don't mean anything. Like, I don't mean, like, I'm not meaningless as an individual. I feel like I'm the highest when it comes to, like, being meaningful if I'm doing my job. But, like, I'm not supposed to mean anything. Like, I'm not supposed to be selfish. I'm not supposed to worry about me at all. Like, there is nothing except for I'm literally supposed to take care of me so that I'm fit to take care of them.
That part.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, that's what I'm fucking here to do. And I think that's a lot of the reasons why men have problems and issues and depressions and things like that, because they think that they're nothing. Yes, you are nothing, but not in a fucking bad way.
But they also forget that, like, that part he says, like, people get into a relationship where they don't even know that they're good, that they're healthy. So if I'm a man and I'm not healthy and good with myself, how can I be healthy and good with somebody else? How can I be healthy and good with a wife and a kid? I'm not. I'm going to be the same dickhead I was when I wasn't with them.
Yeah.
It's just, now it's going to be worse because now it's like, damn, why the divorce rate so high? Why are, like, fathers leaving their kids if they do leave their kids? You know, like, because you have all these issues that you had prior before getting into this relationship, get into this, you know, so-called dad, because you're not a fucking father, right? So as a man, like, you have to be able to, you know, navigate through your emotions and, like, understand what those mean, whatever you're having. And then once you're healthy, and then, you know, get into the relationship and then get into the marriage and then get into the having kids. Because then that's how you know that you're able to do what you need to do for yourself without somebody and then be able to provide that same thing to somebody else while you're providing that for yourself.
Right. You have to be so ready and prepared that you don't worry about yourself.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot worry about yourself. Like, that's not your fucking job. Like, we're not supposed to.
Yeah.
We're supposed to worry, you know what I mean? Worry about the village getting a fucking tax. And the reason why I say village like that, because back in the day, it was very clear what the men did, what the women did, and things like that. Like, it's very, very clear.
Yeah.
And we have been around the time that we've been around right now, as far as, like, centuries and stuff like that, we've been around way more back in the day when it came to tribal shit than we have within the new era of cars and all the things.
Yeah.
Like, think about it. If you look at human existence. And so we have more tribal than we do this. And we're trying to put an animal in a fucking cage. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to do the job and not allowed to be who you're supposed to be. And like, again, what I said with men is like, you cannot take care of yourself or do the things you can or make decisions. You can't make a fucking decision as a man. Like, you literally, like, it's like take your fucking legs out from under you.
So that's how we get into this, like, whole, like, you know, whatever's going on in this world today with this.
Say whatever you want.
You know, I'm not holding back.
Say whatever you want.
But it's like, I don't want to use this phrase because it's like, I think it's a shitty phrase to utilize for this, but it's like how the feminine are in the masculine state. It's not a masculine state. Is that they're in this, like, fending for themselves state. I want to say this because, like, us men can't do what we need to do for them not to be in that state.
Yeah.
So this whole, like, why are guys so, you know, this way and girls are so this way and why things are not working is because, like, she's been working hard and doing all this stuff for herself because nobody's been able to do that for her. So it's not saying that she doesn't have to work. It's not saying that she doesn't have to do what she needs to do for herself. But now she's stuck in this, like, this feels safe for me. Make me feel safe so I don't have to feel like do this.
Have to do this, yeah.
You know, like, and most men can't make women feel safe.
Well, they can't though because
they're not even safe for themselves.
No.
They're going into a relationship, asking out of a relationship, but then they can't even provide for themselves, make themselves happy, make themselves healthy, make themselves do what they need to do, go to the gym, go to work, go make what they do for themselves before they can do this for somebody else. They can't do that. So now you're going for a girl that's been doing this for herself. Imagine that. Like, she's busting her ass, working, and she's in her masculine state, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And then you got a guy that's, you know, hey, I can do this for you, but it's like, but you're just doing the, you know, guy things. Like, you're not doing what will make be like, hey, chill out. Like, tell it. You know when you were like unruly, don't fucking like cancel me for this shit. But like when you go, shut the fuck up and sit down. I got this moment.
I did that to my wife this morning.
Yeah, like
I literally was like, enough. Like the emotions were flowing, and I was like, that's enough. Yeah. And not like I don't want to be there for her emotions because I thought about this. I want to make sure that she still feels safe to be emotional.
Yeah, because
that's all she wants to do is feel safe. That's my job. But I was like, that's enough. This is what's happening, and this is what we're going to do about it.
And then I'm going to handle it.
Yeah,
and that's it. Don't think about it. I don't want you to handle it.
No, and that's why you're upset.
Yeah.
And that's why you're freaking out because you think this is your job. This ain't your job. And for some reason, I didn't give you that. Like some people give like the woman the ability to believe that.
Yeah.
But like my wife has always been masculine and get the job done herself, like the way she grew up. And
that's perfectly fine.
And that's great. I love that about her. She's a strong woman. But like that's messing up the balance. And then again, and I'll bring this to you because this is something that is different when she had postpartum.
Yeah.
And she wanted to kill herself. I had to be mom, dude.
Yeah.
So like I had to be mom and dad, which fucked me up, which I never talked about. So then it put me in my feminine because I'm like trying to be feminine, you know? And I'm just like trying
to wearing skirts around the house.
I'll make the fucking sandwiches here, bitch. No, I'm just kidding. But really, it's like I had the whole French thing on. She's French Canadian. It worked out. She loved it.
He was wearing a skirt, looking at himself in the mirror like, I got you later, babe.
Okay. Okay, I got you, you know. But yeah, that's the point. So then it messed me up a little bit because I'm stuck there. And then she started to work because that helped her with her situation to get out of it mentally. Mm-hmm. So then our roles fucking switched. And the chaos that it created, bro, was unreal. And now we had to unravel that chaos. And now she's in a point where she's trying to get back to her woman and feminine again. And she's fucking crushing it. And it's like, but you still have to be the fucking man and be like you said, this is not going to work. Yeah. You're not going to do it like that. Like you sit down and enjoy yourself.
It's like, don't mind that she has her moments where she wants to be the man and handle things, but like she shouldn't have to be at that state 24/7.
No, yeah, she's going to want to fucking do things, and that's
you know, like whatever. She wants to cook. She wants to clean. She wants to like relax. You know,
she goes, women want to cook and clean.
Yes,
I said it. I don't give a fuck what you say. I had a blanket statement earlier, and I was like, I don't give a shit. And you can say whatever you want, but the people that know,
they want to nourish. They want to fucking,
fucking
relax. It's not. They don't want to have to work. Like
they don't want to have to fight.
Yeah,
it's not their job to fight. It's our job to fucking fight.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. That's the thing. They don't want to fight.
They shouldn't have to fucking fight. They have more emotion and hormones going on in their fucking left pinky than we do in general.
Yeah.
And so why would you want to fight on top of that? It'll send you in a fucking tailspin of shit. You'll be unhealthy as a woman.
And if you want to work. But like,
live your life. I don't give a shit.
But the guy should be able to be like, hey, you know what? Today I want you to sit down and go to a fucking spa, get a massage.
I literally told her today, go get your fucking nails done.
Yeah, like just go fucking get your nails done. Here's my card. Shut up. I'll handle whatever needs to be handled. You know, like that's where we're supposed to be at.
Yep.
And that doesn't exist. That's why so much shit is so fucked up in this world because we're emotional men that can't control the emotions. What's the word? I don't know the word. It's gonna come to me.
It
later
doesn't even matter.
Fuck the word. Control the emotion. As a man, we can't do that. So then we're going into this emotional state, like a very emotional bitch of a dude.
Yep.
Going through life bitching about everything.
Yep.
And then they find this girl that they like, and then they bitch about everything with that girl. So then, why does it end in a divorce? Why does it end in a breakup? Why does it end? And what it is because you're a fucking bitch.
Yeah, you're being a fucking bitch.
You're not being a dude.
Women aren't bitches. I'm just saying you're being a bitch.
Men are being bitches, not.
Yes.
So then also here's the other problem. Here comes these healthy men coming into that relationship where she hasn't healed.
Yes.
And she hasn't got in touch with her feminine side.
Right. She's still masculine and just ready to fight.
Yeah. So then it's gonna clash because now it's the opposite thing. It's like, yo, she has to work. And then what tends to happen, and I have a problem with this. What tends to happen is like, as men, we think we can fix that. And we can't fucking fix that. And that's another variable that we have no control over. But what do we like to do? We like to take fucking control. So when we're sitting there, it's like, forcing it. Like, you can't force shit, man. Like, it's not anal. Oh, fuck. That was a good one.
Just
no lube. Listen, like, you know, like,
you can't just shove it in there, okay? You got to fucking make it relax and everything like that. If it doesn't relax, it doesn't fit right.
Yeah.
No, it's true. But like, again, going back to something you said earlier, it's like you can't go in there like that as a man unless you're fucking okay up here.
Yeah.
If you have your shit okay, like, let me tell you something. Women are fucking human lie detectors. I literally will be like, I'm not hungry. And she'll be like, he's lying to me. And then it was like, you know, and I'd be like, it's not that big of a deal. I'm just not fucking hungry. Why are you lying to me? Why are you a liar? You're a liar. And you know what I mean? Like, it could be the smallest thing that you're lying about, but it doesn't matter to them because it's a lie. And then what does that create? It creates like something that's not safe.
Correct.
And then they start to like, I'm going to do this, and they shouldn't. And then they have to turn masculine to fight. So if you're a man and you come correct, you can look at a woman and say, sit your fucking ass down and go do this shit. But if you're not, and you're these other bitch-made motherfuckers, right? They're literally just going to have a fucking woman that's going to fight you.
Yeah, it's you know.
And it's masculine against masculine when it makes no sense.
And it's trying to understand where they're coming from too, like, right? So like, why do they think this way? Why, like, when she says like, oh, are you hungry? And we say no, but you know you're hungry. Like, why are we lying? You know, why are we saying we're not hungry? It's because we're taught to, you know, just hide everything that we're doing. Like, whether we're emotions, hide it. If you're not happy, well, pretend to be fucking happy.
Yep.
If you're hungry, well, go get yourself food. Don't let her make her food. Like, it's like we grew up, it was like, oh, go get it yourself.
Yep.
It was always like, go get it yourself. It wasn't always like, hey, are you hungry? You want me to feed you? Like, we don't have that. We never had that option. It was like at least for me, you know, it was like, go get your fucking food. Yeah. So like when somebody asks me, are you hungry? I'm like, I'm fine. Like,
but you know what's cool you saying that? It's because like this is something that I and obviously you could take in too, is like, it was hard for me, and this helped with the whole switch of like masculinity and femininity because of the baby. It was hard for me to go, yeah, I want food. Yeah, go make me this food. Because remember something, at the end of the day, if she's trying to be feminine, that's her job.
Yeah.
Okay? And her femininity. And my job is to say, yes, I want food. And her job is to cook it. If I'm not allowing her to be herself or do her job, I am taking away her very right as a woman and as femininity and pulling it away from her. Yeah. Imagine I did that all the fucking time. Like,
it's like
what is she there for then? Why is she in this relationship then if she can't do her fucking job and you won't let her?
It's like when we're building a cabinet and like, oh, can we help you? No, shut up. Maybe be a man about it.
Don't help me fucking with my cabinet.
It was like
directions? No, I know where I'm going.
That's my analogy, right? Like if you're hungry, tell her you're hungry so she can cook. You know, I'm not saying that sounds so bad. Let me build my cabinet. You fucking cook the food. I'm not saying that, but like you know.
No, but it's true. Like somebody said this. I was watching a fucking podcast and the guy was like, "Can you fight? If somebody comes up to us right now, can you fight? No, you can't, motherfucker. I fight. So you make the sandwich. Like not a big deal. And like I said,
know that Mr. The Avenger, the dude from the Avengers.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, he was like, he's like, so.
I forgot what it was.
So when we go to dinner, it's like, you know, you're expecting me to pay, right? But if I say, hey, do you want to go Dutch? You're not gonna want that.
Right.
And he's okay. So he's like, okay, yeah, exactly. No, we pay. Okay, cool. So if we're out in public, instead of saying something, you know, snarky to you, we're gonna man up, right? Like, yeah, okay, cool. And then you make daddy a sandwich.
Yep, that's what it was.
And it's like,
what it was. It was so good.
And it was like, you know what? It's like there's moments for her, but there's moments for us. And it's like, it's being able to find balance. The thing is that both sides, and I'll say both sides suck at fucking communicating. Men suck because we're told not to show emotion and talk about it. And then women suck because they want to play code and us figure it out. You know,
they gotta fucking play code. Because they actually, like, I realized this. I've had fights with my wife because we were both being too nice.
Yes.
We didn't know it. Because she's trying to tell me something, or she doesn't want to hurt my feelings, or she doesn't want to do this. She doesn't want to offset my emotions because she gives a fuck.
Yeah.
But I'm not communicating to her
because you give a fuck.
Because I give a fuck. And then so it's like this thing I told her the other day at breakfast. She was like, "What's wrong?" I go, "I can't talk to you about it." She was, "Why can't you talk to me?" Like, because truthfully, I can say this now because I was fucking worried and I was scared.
Yeah.
But if I look at you as my fucking wife and I say, I'm worried and I'm scared, what safety does she have?
Exactly.
It's gone.
Yeah.
So it's not that I'm not supposed to talk about my feelings. I'm supposed to not talk about the things that are going to create a weird situation and role reversal or anything within her. So I come to you.
Role reversal. Got it.
Boob. You know what I'm saying? But like, you know, I can't create that. So I have to come over here or handle it myself. But that's not a negative thing. And a lot of people are taking that as men and being like, push your emotions inside. No, bitch, don't push your emotions inside. Handle it. We're men. We're supposed to, there's a problem.
I got the word regulate. Regulate your emotions.
Regulate your emotions.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, we should be smart enough to regulate our fucking emotions.
Yeah.
When men don't, women are okay to not regulate their emotions. They're emotional beings. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Live it. Like, it has nothing to do with you.
You know how much easier it is if men knew how to regulate their emotions? Like, they'll be able to, like, express and talk about things so much easier. Especially not with just themselves, but with everybody around them. Whether it's, like, work, whether it's your relationship, whether it's, like, the dude down the street that pissed you off. Like, you're able to just be like, fuck this. Hey, man, look, this happened, and this is what it is. This is how I feel about it.
Yep.
And we can't do that. We're afraid. We get scared. We hold it in. And then it holds in, and then it builds up, and then we let it out as a fire.
Yeah, and then it's like, that's not handling your emotions like a man should. It's literally, you're completely...
And it burns everything, kind of like LA. Sorry, is that too soon?
No. It sucks, but fucking God bless the people in LA.
Please.
Like, fuck, dude, that sucks.
But yeah, no, it literally, once you let your emotions out, like, it affects so many things around it, whether it's relationship, work, it affects everything.
Yep.
You start slacking in the gym. You start slacking in life. You start slacking with your relationship. You start doing things that were negative affecting you that were supposed to be a positive to you.
But like, and even that brings me to say this. It's like, it's your job to handle the situation. It's not your job to bitch about it.
Yeah.
So I don't give a fuck what happens to me. And this is a higher level of thinking. And as a man, it's like, you have to be willing to accept responsibility in that level that I'm talking about. Not talking about your fucking emotions. Handling it regardless of the situation or how you feel. Like, that's a gift. It's not a punishment. People are looking at this like, I'm a man, I gotta do this, we go through so much, blah, blah, blah. No, bitch, it's a gift. You're given this gift of fucking being a man. Look at, you've chosen to fucking do shows and like, look at your body. It's like fucking full of muscle and fucking man shit where you could be a fucking piece of Play-Doh on a fucking rock.
You're filled with man shit.
You're filled with man shit. I didn't fucking know what to say. It was like, but you know what I'm saying? Like, if it's fucking juice, you drink it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then like this, everything is a gift. Like, you're not wasting it.
Correct.
Right? Where all these other motherfuckers are sitting there wasting this gift, and then you wonder why you don't have a fucking woman by your side. Like, to invoke a woman to be the woman that she's supposed to be, you have to be the man in general.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll never see that woman.
It's like, live life, don't let life live you. And it's like, that goes into everything, everything in life. It's not just about like traveling or doing experiences, but about also providing and being who you need to be in order to live that life that needs to be lived.
Right.
Because we're so far deep into this, like, okay, if life is living you, right? So that means you're doing things that are negative. So you're drinking, you're doing drugs, you're fucking up with this person, you're fucking up with that person, you're fucking up with your work, you're fucking up everywhere. And that's when life starts living you. And then time starts kicking. Yeah. And Father Time doesn't stop. It keeps going.
No. It's literally, it doesn't give a fuck about you. And we're never really all going to die.
Yeah, and if sometimes we're so deep into that, like I said earlier, like, you know, it cuts it short. And you're either lucky or you're not.
Yep.
Like, live life.
Live life. And it's like such a good point, because even when I think about things, it's like your job as a man to be selfless.
Yeah.
And so, and this is something I worked on, and even a communication point. If you're in the gym and you're telling me something, I shouldn't even compare or tell you I went through the same thing. I should just say, man, I understand. I've been through that.
Yeah.
I shouldn't tell you my fucking story. You need help. You came to me without coming to me. Like, it's my job to handle. And it's like you have unlimited amounts of energy as a being, like spiritual being, whatever you want to talk about, and it never stops. It only stops when you think it stops. Like, you control the universe. You control the things that are going on. But being selfless and just handling problems without asking for anything in return, with being able to regulate your fucking emotions and realize that you don't matter, the things matter outside of you. Like, you can live in a pretty peaceful fucking place, actually. It's really peaceful to be up there.
It's fucking great.
It's so great. You have nothing to fucking worry about because you're just fixing shit like a fucking man instead of being a bitch. I mean, hey, it's happened to me.
But
nothing's happening to you.
You know why it's like that? Because the moment, it's like this. Let's say you tell me a story, right? And then this is how it goes. You say whatever story, and it goes, oh yeah, man, well, this one time with me. Like,
yeah, that bullshit.
And it's like, dude, I came to you for help. I didn't want to hear about your fucking story.
Yeah, and I didn't have to preface my help.
And then after that, and I don't mean to cut you off, but after that, what tends to happen is, sure, you had that conversation, sure, that talk, and they're thinking that they helped you out, right? Now you go home.
They helped you out by talking about themselves.
Yeah, so now you go home, you heard their whole story, and you're like, man, like, and this is what leads into deep depression. I can say this, is you were hoping to have the conversation with that person, and then you go home. So now you're at home, you're like,
wait, hold on. You're hoping to have that one conversation with that person.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen.
Go ahead.
And then now you get home. This say, I'm going to make it very dark. Let's say this is that conversation, right?
That's how it felt. Like, you were literally hoping to, everyone's like, why didn't you call me? Why didn't he say something? I reached out. No, because he was hoping to have that conversation with you.
So you get home. And you're like, man, I talked to Jimmy, I talked to Tom, I talked to Tyler, and all they told me was their story. But I didn't want to hear this story. I wanted them to hear my story and just be like, okay, man, what do you need from me? And that's all you wanted. So now you, that person, that character, to say, we'll call him Dylan, right? So now you're Dylan, right? You got home and you wanted that one conversation. What's Dylan going to do? Dylan is at his last point. You were that one person. And you didn't have that talk with him. So now the next day, it's usually not the next day. Let's say 2 days later. Where's Dylan? Oh, no, I talked to him at the gym. He wanted advice, but, you know, like, that was it. Now here comes the post. R.I.P. Dylan. And you're just like, fuck. Why didn't he talk to me? I want to talk to him. I would have talked to him. It was like, he did try talking to you. But instead of you trying to having a conversation with you, you told him about your fucking life. Or you just, you know, brushed him off. Or what does every fucking guy say when this fucking happens? Why, bro? Your life is good. You have a job. What could be wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Nothing's wrong with you.
Yeah, you have everything.
You have everything, man. You have a wife, you have a kid, you have a job. It's like, cool, man. Like, I'm already at this point, bro. Like, when you're at that point in life, none of that really exists. Like, and that sounds very, like, fucked up to say, but it's like, it doesn't. So then we're just, now we're seeking this thing from someone that we're like, hey, I need this. And if this person says it's like, no, it's just, maybe for once to let all this emotion, all this thing that's going in through our body, like, because men fucking suck at communicating, talking, expressing emotion, right? So maybe it's just that one time that I really needed fucking know what to hear me out and just say, I hear you, bro, and everything's okay. Let's do this to fix it. Versus Noah giving his story of like, well, yeah, man, my cat jumped off the ledge and cut and broke his one arm, and then I had to spend $5,000. But yeah, your dog he'll be fine. No, that's not the story I wanted.
No, that's not what I came here to do.
Yeah,
like, and you're so right. You're not even making it dark. Like I remember. Like it hits me because, yeah. God, this moment sucks. I can't even talk because I'm gonna lose it. Like I can't even talk about
whose podcast is this?
Fuck me, dude. Send help. All right, that laugh helped. My wife went through it. You know what I mean? She, after her son, our son was born, and like she wanted to kill herself. And I remember being and watching her sitting on the edge of a bed, looking out a fucking window, and I could feel her going, "I want to die." And it didn't matter how wonderful I was. It didn't matter how beautiful Nova was. Nothing fucking mattered. We had a nice car. You know what I mean? We weren't broke. It was like, and it was just that. And I was like, fuck, I need to do anything to save this person. And that means I need to throw myself away in the trash. And not in a bad way, but it was like, that's how it felt. But I didn't care. Because I was like, I don't want my son growing up not knowing how wonderful his mother is. Or was. Fuck that. And now she's here and he's here. And it's like, I couldn't imagine doing this, without the three of us. And like, I had to take everything away from myself and give to her. If she fought me, that was real. If she was saying something, that was real. Even though I knew it was wrong, it wasn't real. It's not what was happening in fucking reality. That was her fucking story. Why the fuck would I look at it and go, you're pissing me off, go sit down? I figured it out one night because I didn't sleep. We had an argument. I didn't sleep in the same bed. I slept on the couch because like, I'm just going by myself. And then she came in the morning, sad, crying, why didn't you sleep with me? And I was like, we just had the fucking gnarliest. And then I was like, motherfucker. And so that's why I was like, not me.
And that's what people forget, man. Like, and I'm glad like you were there and be able to do that for her.
Thanks.
But it's like, people make relationships so complicated when they're not. Yeah. Because we're constantly wanting us what we want for ourselves. So, well, this isn't the right time for me. Well, this isn't this for me. And this isn't me. This isn't for me. And it's like, sometimes it's not just about you. Like, what can that person do for you that you can't do for yourself? Right? Like, there's moments in time where, like, things are amazing, right? Like, those moments, like, whether it's like, I had a long day at work, but they say she came home and you just start massaging her feet. She had a long day at work, so her feet hurt. No, you massage her feet. Those little moments, little things. It's like, she took care of you. Now she's sick. Take fucking care of her. Put her. It's about her. Don't. Oh, you're sick. Oh, fuck this. Like, fuck you. Like, or like, what you're supposed to do as a guy, right? If this sick, because I just always just sick, so I keep going back to the sickness thing. And I had no fucking person in my life, so like me being sick, I'm like, fuck, I'm dying by myself. Nobody's gonna help me out. I'm
myself. I'm dead. I'm alone. Fine.
But I go to this because it's like it's very real in every relationship.
Yeah.
Most relationships, right? So if your wife is sick, right, like what your job as a man is to take off the load that she has. Right. So anything that is putting pressure on her, whether she's while being sick, do that for her. Don't come in being a man and being upset. Why isn't dinner done? Why are you laying in bed? Why like, because that's what happens, right?
I know. It's just
you go to like, why are you being a lazy bitch? You're like, I don't know if you're gonna call it that, but like,
yeah,
most men do. And it's fucked up. Like, you stupid bitch. Like, you should be, I don't care if you're sick, cook dinner.
Yeah, they
like,
want it fucking served to them. Like,
and
fucking selfish bitch.
It's like, no, like, it's like, damn, babe, like, you're sick. I know you took care of me when I was sick. Like, what can I do for you? You know what? Fuck this. Stay in bed. I'm gonna cook dinner. I don't know how to cook, but like, I'll make something. I'll make something. I'll order something. I'll come up with something, right? Fuck, I can't make soup, but I'm gonna put the soup in a bowl and heat it up and pretend I cooked it. I don't know. Who cares? Do what she did for you the same way, back in return. Yep. And it's gonna go back, and that's how a relationship stays healthy and stays good, because now you're doing what you're supposed to do as a man, and she's doing what she's supposed to do as a woman. You're going back and forth, and then you're able to provide that emotional stability in the relationship that You know, because why? Because you're emotionally stable and she's emotionally stable. If you're not, that's not going to exist. So that's how you're able to do what you did for her. Yeah. Because you did what you need to do for yourself in this time. And then once you got into your relationship, whether, you know, we all have our struggles, I'm sure.
It's always going to be, you're never going to not fight in a relationship, man.
But you figured out that, hey, at this point in time, even though everything was perfect, it wasn't perfect for her. Right. But then it was like, hey, let me do this for you and show you how perfect this life is with all of us. And that's why you're here. That's why she's here. That's why you're there for her. Because that's what you're supposed to do as a man. Why she does what she does for you, because that's what she does for you, because you were there as a man to provide and give what was needed in a time that was like, hey, I don't have this for myself.
Right. And like, you're never going to get that from a woman unless you handle your shit as a man. Because again, it's like a woman will stay in hibernation.
Yeah.
Until she sees and feels the presence of a fucking real man.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
So
really?
That shit was fucking, I knew it was going to get deep as shit, bro. I was like, that's why I'm calling Alex. So it's like, we're going to fucking go somewhere dark and deep, and I couldn't have fucking had it any other way. So, where it's about that fucking time anyways. So I feel like it's a good moment. So like,
I thought it's only been 20 minutes.
It fucking feels like that, dude, but it's not. It's been a lot longer. But yeah, man, tell everybody where you're at, how we can get a hold of you, like, you know, what you do, like, just give a shout out to yourself so that way anybody on this that watches this can
look you up and check you out. My Instagram is Alex Padron X, so Alex Padron X.
It's Cuban.
It's Cuban. It's like Patron, but you put a D instead of a T. Alex Padron X. That's my Instagram. Message me on there, DM me, whatever you need, whether it's like whatever in town, because obviously I do what I do for work.
What do you do? Real quick, give it a.
Yeah, so I work for 8182 Group. They own Electra, Juliet, Rosina, which is on Venetian Palazzo, and then we have Lunetta, Early Birds, and Mas Before off property, from the strip. Mexican cantinas, breakfast, where you go to every single Sunday with your family.
Sunday, I fucking love Early Birds.
Shout out to Early Birds.
Shout out.
Yeah, so if you need a reservation there or anything, we show every UFC fight, every major event, every night we have a DJ, we have a live piano, karaoke, everything. So it's a great experience. If you haven't been to Vegas and experienced it, definitely message me. And then fitness life, mental health, whatever. I'm also there. I'm an open book. I've shared my stuff very openly. And
what's your Facebook? The Facebook that you, the group.
Let me look it up before, because you know, like
yeah. Make sure, because I put that on there if anybody wants to follow. It's obviously free. So that way you can follow his journey and the more stuff that he talks about or ask questions and just kind of be a part of it. If you liked what you heard.
Yeah, so the Facebook group is Strength and Vulnerability, Mental Health and Fitness Journey.
Okay, cool.
So you can go on there. The group is private now. It used to be open, but I made it private just because, you know, people would be sharing certain things. So I'd rather that be disclosed just within the group and stuff.
Dope.
But that's the group. Yeah, and I mean, actually, I want to share this. So you know how you've seen a lot of things progress and everything. So, dude, this actually happened over the weekend. It was on a Saturday or Sunday or whatever. Saturday. But then I'm actually going to, so I don't know if anybody who watches this is in Germany. If you're going to be in Germany April 10th or 13th, I'll be at FIBO for the big fitness expo that's going to be out there.
That's sick.
Yeah, so I'm going to be at the BioWell Labs booth. So
that's gangster. Yeah. Let's go. Germany?
Yeah, Germany. April 10th to the 13th. So if you're going to be at FIBO and you're watching this and you're in Germany, come say hi. Let's talk.
Bro, if you get an opportunity to rent a motorcycle and go, I'm telling you, that's one of the coolest things about being able to ride a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Go to another country and fucking just
for
a little bit. I don't know if you'll get that time, if you'll be too busy, but
I'm trying to make it work.
I know you're going to fucking kill it. You're going to have fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be sick.
It'll be sick.
All right, bro. Well, thanks. I really appreciate you fucking talking about everything.
Thanks for having me, man. Anytime.
Yeah. All right.